Hi, I'm Louis, a Copilot solutions engineer at Microsoft. Today, I'm going to go through one of the most exciting areas of innovation that we've seen in a long time called Copilot Cowork. What I'll run through is a real life example of how this technology can help many businesses starting today, responding to RFPs. We'll dive into the challenge, introduce the technology, and then demonstrate it with a real life scenario. Now, why is this such an important area? Well, businesses' survival requires two things: retaining customers and winning new work through competitive tenders in challenging markets. Often, RSP response creation has a tight deadline, a strain on resource and demand, a rapid turnaround from already overworked teams. They have to produce comprehensive proposals, maintaining accuracy across technical specs, estimates, as well as compliance requirements. The average tender response takes between 25 to 32 hours to create, with 41% of organisations responding to between 50 and 250 RFPs per year, and then 10% responded to 500 plus RFPs on average. Those proposal packs often include upwards of 40 plus pages per RFP. Now, if we break that down and take the middle ground of 150 RFPs per year, 25 hours per RFP, we're looking at nearly 3,750 hours, which works out to be the equivalent of 469 working days or 1.8 full-time employees solely working on this document creation. Now, it's important to note the RFP process has two distinct stages. Stage one is the initial go, no go assessment. We evaluate the tender aligned with our capabilities and our direction. That isn't what we're going to demonstrate today. We're going to focus on that stage two. That's where the heavy lifting happens, assembling the first draft proposal. This is where teams traditionally spend the most time searching through past proposals, coordinating across departments, and pulling together technical documentation. This is where Copilot Cowork has the possibility to have the most impact. Now, if you've not heard of Cowork, Copilot Cowork is the engine behind this transformation. Think of it as a task-orientated AI that works across the full Microsoft 365 suite. You give it a description, it creates a plan, executes across multiple applications, and checks in with you along the way. The key advantage here is it handles the repetitive of getting started work, searching for the past proposals, formatting documents, and pulling together cost data. So your team can focus on the strategic elements that actually win bids, the client relationships, the tailored approach, and that competitive positioning, allowing us to get to that first draft faster. This was built hand in hand with Anthropic. So you do need the Anthropic models turned on within your M365 environment, but it does adhere to all the security, compliance, and privacy controls that you get with all LLM models within Microsoft 365. Now, before we get into that demo piece and that real life example, how is it working in the background? Well, Copilot Cowork has something called skills, and this is what makes it truly powerful for organizational use. Rather than starting from scratch each time, users can package their best packages, templates, and reference material into reusable skills. But the real value comes from combining multiple skills. For example, pairing a generation skill with a knowledge skill lets Cowork both create new content and draw from your organizational's database simultaneously. Now, there are pre-created skills such as creations of PDF, Word, Excel, calendar management. But what I've used for this is a couple of custom skills, and these both work in tandem. The RFP response skill handles generation. It knows how to structure the proposal package with technical documentation, compliance matrix, and a case study section. The RFP collateral skill provides the knowledge base, the past successful proposals, the pricing templates, the team CVs, the style guide, and the compliance frameworks. Together, these two tools give Copilot Cowork everything it needs to produce a comprehensive first draft. Now, we won't go into skill configuration today, but I'm happy to explore that in a follow-up session if anyone's interested. Now, here's where it gets exciting. With a single prompt, Copilot Cowork coordinates multiple sub-agents across different applications to produce 5 professional deliverables simultaneously. It leverages 8 upload source files, the RFP document itself, professional portfolio with database, style guide, compliance matrix, and test fit documentation. The output then spans Word, Excel, and a standalone executive summary, all generated with one initial prompt. Now, what is that prompt? Here, you can see the prompt that we'll use in the live demo. Notice how it's written in natural language. We're describing the project specifications, what deliverables we need, and how we want them structured. The prompt references specific source files and skills and asks Cowork to coordinate across Word, Excel, and the executive summary simultaneously. This is representative of how a real bid manager would brief their team, except now they're briefing Cowork instead. If you want to pause here and take a copy of this and use this for your own purposes, then please do. What I'll do now is we'll see the tool in action. Now, let's switch over to that demo piece. What we can see here is I'm in a virtual machine in my demo environment. Now, there isn't just one place, just the same as Copilot, that we can access Cowork. If I come to my Microsoft 365 homepage, m365.cloud.microsoft, or if you want to go in the old money or the old term, portal.office.com, you can see underneath my agents, I've got Copilot Cowork frontier brackets. I can select this and then it opens up the Copilot Cowork homepage. As you can see, I've done this demo quite a lot. If you then come to the M365 Copilot app, and if you're not using this at the moment, I highly recommend you get it and download it. But within here, we have access to all of our usual chats, all of our agents, all of our notebooks that we've created through M365 Copilot, as well as those previous chats. And again, we'll be using the Cowork function within here. Now, what am I going to do? Well, I've got the prompt already. We've already seen that. We will come back and look at this because Copilot Cowork does take a little while to run. But first of all, let's upload some files. So if I press the Add Attachments button, I can add work content, much like we can in Copilot. So we can even reference skills within this. I can upload images and files, or I can attach files from the cloud, from my OneDrive, from Teams, or from SharePoint. So I'm going to come to my OneDrive. I'm then going to come to the documents that I've got open. I'm then going to come to my notebook work winnings folder. And I'm actually going to select all of these rather than me going through. I'm just going to upload them all at the same time. We're then going to be able to put the prompt into Cowork. As you can see, that full prompt is in there where we're telling it that we're going after a new project based in London. It's got some new unique features that we have shown experience deploying in the past. And I want it to create that first draft RFP. We've told it that we want the full tender response in Word, a cost in Excel, a compliance matrix, an executive summary, and we want the presentation not to be too text heavy and accompany the document version. I've also told it that I've created those 2 skills. It will pick them up automatically, but I just wanted it to point in the right direction. Now, in the top right, we have the ability to actually choose the model that Cowork is using. Late yesterday evening, Claude Opus 4.7 was released. And at the same time it was released through Anthropic, it was available through M365 Cowork and GitHub Copilot. I always select auto for my interactions with Cowork, but if you have a preference, you can select that. Now, from my user creation standpoint, that's all I've got to do. I hit send. Cowork will ingest all of the documentation and then run through its process in the background. Now, what I'm going to do for the essence of time, actually, before we move on, as we can see, it's picked up those skills that I mentioned earlier. It's going to go through and it's going to tell me what it's doing as it's doing it. So if I duplicate this tab and full Blue Peter style, show you something that was already created, we can see the thought process that goes into Cowork creating the responses, as well as the collateral that has been created off the back of it. So if I scroll right to the top, we can see it's exactly the same prompt. We've told it to do exactly the same thing, just copied and pasted. It's then told me that it's built the complete RFP response package by loading the relevant skills. And on the right-hand side, we can see the navigation and we can see the skills down here that it's used. It's used the RFP response, it's used the collateral, it's used an Excel, Word, as well as PowerPoint skill. What is it then done in the background? Obviously, it's uploaded those skills, extracted the information from the RFP and reference documents. It's read the cost benchmark database. It's read the source material. It's checked all of that source material, and it's looked at our company collateral data that's located within that skill. It's then created those workbooks, again, always showing me what it is doing in the background. It's then gone, right, cool, I've now completed all this, and we can see there's a bit of a UI glitch here where it says that it's still running. It isn't. Here is your executive summary, 410 words. I'll now put it into a Word document, compliance matrix and PowerPoint decks in parallel. We can see the executive summary. We can then see the documents that it's created. Again, always telling us what it's completed. It's created a full tender response. It's completed the compliance matrix, the executive summary, which is standalone, the summary deck, the draft estimate. And from this, we can see everything that we would go into this response. Now, if we click on any of these, we get a preview version. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download all of these files and then open them in OneDrive. And let's have a look at what we've got created. So first off, let's have a look at the executive summary. Here we have got the full executive summary, which is titles for the tender response that we have received. It's got an opening and it's got our direct relative experience, the occupied and mezzanine building specialism, and then why us as a company, Bridgewater. We have the tender response, so the actual response or first draft of the response that we would send to the customer. Now, what we can see here is it's 3,500 words, and as we go through, we've got the full tender submission. We have got the cover letter that's going to be assigned to this. Again, an executive summary, our qualifications, the financial standing of our company, because this is something that the RFP required. We've got the personnel that are going to be included on this, our technical approach and methodology, where we've done this in the past. Again, it is that full first draft of the tender response. Now, I'm going to keep saying it. It's a first draft. I'm not saying that we will do this and then send that to the client automatically. Again, it needs that human in the loop. But what we've gone from here is that first, not having anything to that first initial draft. It's now created us the compliance table. Again, using our template that we've already got internally. A fully costed estimate. Now, what we can see is it is pulled through, and all of this is in formula. It isn't just go away. It isn't just pulling the information through and then putting the information in static. We can see that it's going back to one of the pages that we've got here, and we've got a multi-worksheet Excel document going through each one of the costs. So if you look at the preliminaries, What is it going to cost to have a site manager, the supervisor, the establishment and mobilization, 24-hour security? We're then going to look at demolition, removing all of the engineering that's in there at the moment, structural, architectural, mechanical, electrical. Again, going through each one of these key parts of the RFP that need costing and pulling from our current costing database. And then finally, to go along with the RFP, a full PowerPoint presentation. As we can see, it's going through the brief. So what is it that the customer wants? Why us as a company? Highlighting our key differentials, what our relevant experience is, our technical approach, our program in a Gantt chart, our compliance snapshot, commercial framework, sustainability, and then again, what makes us different. Now, I'm going to repeat it. I know I've said it a couple of times. We've gone from not having anything. We've gone from, saying that we're going to go for this RFP to, in all honesty, it probably took Cowork about 10 minutes to pull all of this information together in our tone, using our templates. Again, in reality, at the moment, this takes 25 human hours on average to be able to create all of this collateral. We've done it in 10. Again, we would still need to make sure we make the amendments, but how powerful is that? Now, before we finish off, let's quickly just recap. Let's now talk about the bottom line. This bar chart shows the time saving across key activities: research, creating the content, cost estimation, formatting, and review coordination. All of that totals 25 hours saved per RFP response. But this isn't just about speed. Consistency improves because Cowork is able to draw on those proven past proposals and established frameworks, reducing the risk of errors. Our team's expertise shifts to where it matters most: strategic thinking, client customizations, and the human judgment that wins competitive bids. When you're working under compressed deadlines, the faster turnaround becomes a genuine competitive advantage. Thank you very much for your time and to listen to me. Goodbye.